Hey guys, welcome to my chaotic mess. If you're new here, my name is Melissa, and well, today is the day that non-book readers dread, but I very much look forward to, and it is my book end review and new goal setting. Obviously, this is new because I did a half-year review, but next year I will only be doing my review at the end of the year unless someone specifically asks me a monthly question about what books I'm reading. So just FYI, that's how that's gonna go in the future. So if you're ever curious about what I'm currently reading or what I've read, just leave me a comment down in the description. Leave me a comment down below and I will add it to our monthly Q&A, which if you don't know, if you haven't seen my previous video where I talked about this, I've decided that the last day of every month will be a Q&A video, and it will be all the questions asked during the month. So even if there's just one question asked, there will be a question or Q&A video for that one question. So anyway, without further ado, what I've decided I'm going to do is go over all the books I've read because I've realized they did not put them in order, and I'm hoping all of them are here now because one of them I realized didn't even get marked as read, and so that's kind of disappointing because I'm pretty sure I told the Kindle to mark it as currently reading, and I'm pretty sure I rated it 5 stars through my Kindle, so I'm kind of annoyed by that. But you know, hopefully everything else that I read got marked. That one I just happened to realize because I knew I read the whole series, and the whole series is not even on my list here. So anyway, we're gonna start with some of the books you've probably already been told about, and then we'll get on to the newer books. So the first book I marked was Spare, and that's because that's the only book I remember for sure reading this year before I got my Kindle. If you don't know, my husband bought me a Kindle and gave it to me in April, and I've loved it ever since. I used to always say I would never own a Kindle because I'm a big book person, I like to hold it, smell it, everything else person. But I'm getting old and I'm getting tired of moving the books, and I know we're not going to be moving from place to place for the rest of our life. Fingers crossed. But it's to the point where a Kindle is just much easier for me physically, and as much as I love my books, I've already gotten rid of so many of them. But as much as I love my books, it's time for me to the physical books. I've kept 2. I've kept The Polar Express because that's my favorite Christmas book, and it cost me a lot of money back in the day when I bought it because I bought a special edition. And then I kept one that I'm going to give to my niece or nephew's child, whoever has one first. Hopefully it will be the niece, since she's like, how much older is she? Like almost 10, no, 8 years. I want to say she's like 8 years older than him. Yeah, 8 years old. She's 8 years older than him. So hopefully it's her. Anyway, aside from those 2 books, all the rest of them I want to get rid of. My niece looked through them when she was here, and she took some for the people she works, where she works. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to message her and ask her if she wants the rest of them. Since I'm coming up in March, I can just take them to her. If not, then I will probably see if there's like a women's shelter or something I can donate them to. Last resort is always donating to like Goodwill or something. So for me anyway, I don't mind shopping at Goodwill but I don't want to donate to them, because if you guys don't know, Goodwill is a for-profit organization. Yes, they hire a bunch of people that, or not, no, I don't want to say that. Anyway, we're not here to talk about Goodwill. We're here to talk about books. All right. So let's go through what I've read, and then I will go back and talk about some of my favorites, and then talk about my reading goals for next year, etc., etc., etc. So I probably didn't tell you my goal this year was 30 books, and by the time I finish, we will have read 36 books. So I'm very excited for that. All right, so of course I read Spare. I just talked about that. If you've not read Spare, but you're out here blabbing your mouth about how horrible Prince Harry is, read Spare and then come up with another conclusion, even if it's still that he's the worst in the world. But I don't think anyone that has not read the book should be out there talking about how he backstabbed his family, blah, blah, blah. Because if you actually read the book, you would realize that very little is about his actual family and more about his problems with the press. But if you would have read the book, you would know that. I'm not saying there's nothing in there about his family, but a lot of it has to do with the press. So then there are the Knock 'Em Out series. This is how I know they're not in order, because those were not the first books I read. So Things We Never Got Over, Things We Hide from the Light, and of course the most recent one, Things We Left Behind. Absolutely love this series by Lucy Score. If you do not like spicy content, don't read any of her books. Her books are very spicy. I don't mind spicy content, so you know, I read her books because they're very entertaining to me. So they remind me of actual, like there's still romance and they're still sometimes a little far-fetched, but they're more realistic than some of the other romances that you read, where like it's basically a Hallmark series in a book. Love doesn't happen that way, people. All right. Then I read Reminders of Him by Colleen Hoover. It was decent. Layla by Colleen Hoover. That one threw me for a loop, okay? Because if you know anything about Colleen Hoover, and I haven't read very many of her books this year, but if you know anything, or at least from what I've gathered from 2 of the books I read, that's not like Layla. Layla threw me for a loop. Layla is more like a thriller, in my opinion, than a whatever Colleen Hoover categorizes herself as. So, and then I read The Housemaid and The Housemaid's Secret. I read them in the correct order, so I don't remember what that is, but I definitely like that series by Frida McFadden. I don't think there's any more than just those 2 in the series. Hollow by Selena Myers. If you don't know, Selena Myers is also Selena Spooky Boo. This is not the first book she's written, but this book I'm hoping she does a follow-up book with, because it was that good and she left it on a cliffhanger. So I'm really hoping she does a follow-up. Then I read Never Lie by Frida McFadden, the inmate Frida McFadden. And then I read the first book of the Waterfall series. Or I'm sorry, not the Waterfall series, the Cascade something series. But anyway, it's Waterfall. And it might be the Waterfall series. I can't read the little print on here. But I want to pick that back up, but I've got sucked into Lucy's Score, so But the Waterfall series is more PG rated. I don't even know if they kissed. Anyway, I want to continue that series. It's more of a historic, modern to historic romance. Anyway, I don't know how else to explain it. Ward D by Frida McFadden. That one, I saw it coming out a different way, so it didn't happen the way I thought it would happen. And then I got onto a Kelsey Ray kick. So I read Don't Let Me Fall, Don't Let Me Go by Kelsey Ray. And don't worry, I finished the series, but I took a break from it. Those were really good. They are, I believe hockey. Yes, they're hockey romance. So it was really good. I read The Perfect Son by Frida McFadden, and then the Benevolence series by Lucy Score. Pretend You're Mine, Finally Mine, Protecting What's Mine, Finally Mine. Why is there two Finally Mines? I bet you that was supposed to be the other one that was... I need to look at this again because I don't know why there's two of those. Anyway, there shouldn't be two of those. This list is so confusing. I got it directly off of Goodreads. This is what Goodreads said I read. So, I'm very confused. Very confused. Then I read The Wife Upstairs. It was good, but it reminded me a lot of the Housemaid series. So, I mean, there's that. And then, of course, the infamous The Perfect Marriage. I'm pretty sure I mentioned it in my half-year roundup. I was having a hard time getting into that book. I finally read it. I think I only rated it 2 or 3 stars though. But, it just wasn't my cup of, like, it wasn't horrible. It wasn't very hard to get into. But it wasn't horrible, but it wasn't great either. Like, I don't know. Maybe it's because I think I don't want to give it away, but like trying to think of how I can explain. I can't explain it. So anyway, and then we have the next of the Kelsey Ray series, the hockey series. I wish I remembered what the series was called for you guys. I'll put it on the screen here, what it's called, so you guys know. But it's Don't Let Me Break and Let Me Love You. And I don't know if there's any more to this series. I will check. Then I read Love, Lies, and Lattes. This is a Enemies to Lovers book. And was it Enemies to Lovers? Friends to Lovers? Maybe Friends to Lovers. I don't remember. I think it's Friends to Lovers. Yeah, it's Friends to Lovers. It was good. It was by Karen Sims or Grims. I can't read the name. It's so little. And then I read Sleigh Bells Ring by Rayanne Thane. Okay, the story was good. The editing of the book, horrible. Whoever edited this book got so many things missed. They missed so many things because at one point she's talking to someone and she says the wrong name of the person she's in love with, and instead of an editor picking up on that and correcting it, it's wrong. There's a lot of words wrong in here, so maybe it wasn't edited. This could be a self-published book, I don't know, but there's a lot of mistakes in it, and I get that, but I picked up on it. I don't know if a normal person would pick up on it, and it's really weird because I have to give a little backstory. If you guys don't know, I'm dyslexic, okay? So it already takes me a long time to read books, and so a lot of times that's how I pick up the mistakes, because I'm like, wait, that didn't sound right, so I have to go back and reread it, and no, I read that right. But what you guys don't understand is when I was in school, I wanted to be an English teacher, and I probably would have never, even if I went to school to be an English teacher, I probably would have never been able to be an English teacher because of my dyslexia. I don't know. I'm sure there are dyslexic English teachers out there. Math is really hard for me too because of that, and it took until I got into college for someone to realize that I had this and, you know, have me diagnosed with dyslexia, because I've had it my whole life and did not get diagnosed until college. So it made, like, I don't want to say it made things easier being diagnosed with it, but at least, you know, I wasn't stupid. You know, I've been called stupid by a teacher before. It's not a fun thing. And now I know I'm not stupid. That teacher's stupid. Anyway. Then I read the Family Christmas Cabin series. It's a mini series. I did not know this when I was in a Christmas book reading mood, and I saw this one had a bunch in its series. It had 6 books, and I was like, oh, I like series. It's a mini series. Each book is literally like 50 to 56 pages. So when I say mini series, I read this whole series in 2 days. So I technically, if you only count that as one book, I still met my reading goal of 30 books this year. But Goodreads counted it as 6 books. So when you're seeing this, you only have like 3 days left. So if you need to finish your reading goal, read The Family Christmas Cabin. Counts as 1 book each, and you'll meet it for sure. I read The Christmas Fix by Lucy Score. Apparently this is the 2nd book of a series. I did not read the 1st book, and will I? Probably eventually, but not right now. And then I started the Blue Moon series, and I'm hooked, okay? I'm hooked. I'm on the 3rd one of this series, and I just learned there's 9 to the series. So, No More Secrets was the 1st one, and it's about a girl from the city doing a report on a country boy, a farmer, and, well, she was hiding a big secret, and, you know, the normal Hallmark stuff is in there too, guys. They do fall in love, but oh, it's very spicy. And then Fall into Temptation, that is the 2nd book of the series, and it's about the brother of the farmer who's the mayor, and it's also spicy. But then I'm on the 3rd book, which is called, hold on, I gotta grab my Kindle for this one, which I need to charge my Kindle because it's at 20%. It's called, no, go back. The Last Second Chance. And this is about the youngest brother of the farmer and the mayor. And now it's down to 15%. Anyway, and he's going after his childhood love. So I'm interested to see what other what the other books are about, like what other characters they're going to bring into the books. I have a feeling it's going to be the mayor's wife's sister in one of the next coming books, but I couldn't tell you for sure. So we'll see. But I also wanted to go ahead and talk about, guys, well, before we get into my goals for next year, I wanted to ask a question. Audiobooks, do they count towards reading? Yes or no? I want your opinion on it, and I'm going to tell you my opinion now. All right, so my opinion is no, they should not count, because it's called a reading goal, and audiobooks, in my opinion, are like a podcast. I have no issue with audiobooks, but I just don't think they should count as reading. And because you're not actually reading at that point, you're listening. And so I don't know. That's how a lot of these people are reaching their goal of 100 books, is they're listening to audiobooks. And I just don't think that's right, because you're not actually reading them. Reading is when you sit down and your eyes are focused on a book, not when you have your AirPods in listening to an audiobook, cleaning the house and driving down the road, or you know what I mean? You're not reading at this. And so anyway, that's my opinion on audiobooks. I don't think they should count. So take that with what you want. I know a lot of people's going to disagree with me, but in my opinion, audiobooks don't count as reading. I have no issue with audiobooks. In fact, I have one well, it's not a book, it's a story that I listen to, but I would never count it towards my reading goal because I didn't physically read it. I feel like, eyes to paper or Kindle or whatever you're reading, those should count as reading because your eyes are actually doing the work. Anyway, just my opinion. So let's talk about my 2024 reading goals. So this year I'll read 36 by the time we're done. And I want to do at least 10 more than that. So, we're just going to round it up to 50. We're going to do our 50 for next year. And fingers crossed we get to it, because I didn't know if we were going to get to what we got to this year. But again, I don't remember how many books I read before I got my Kindle, except for Spare. And I only remember I read Spare because I finished reading it at my brother's house because my brother wanted to borrow it. I just gave it to him because I didn't need the physical copy anymore. So but yeah, so I don't remember how much I read, and it's fine. But yeah, 40 or 50 books is going to be my goal for 2024. If you're also on a reading journey this year, what is your reading goal? What type of books do you like to read? What is your favorite book? If I did not read your favorite book in 2023, leave it down below. I will definitely look into it. I read all sorts of books, not just romance. I've just been on a romance kick lately. Lucy Score, I've discovered, is probably my favorite author this year. I don't know, her books just kind of like lock you in. I also loved Kelsey Ray. I want to find more of that because I liked hers. Hers was a little more realistic love story because it's about college kids, and it spans over a year. Like, it spans over time. So it's not just like they fall in love in 3 days and blah, blah, blah. No, this spans over time. And so I think hers is a little more realistic because, like, I don't know. Anyway, that's going to be it, guys. If you liked this video, give it a thumbs up. Comment down below. Questions, recommendations, anything of that sort. If you haven't done so already, subscribe. I will see you guys the next time. Bye.